Hey, I just want to say, for anyone interested in content creation, it can be very difficult because I just did about 2 videos that it took a lot of work and they got deleted instantly with the click of a button. One is that I had been distracted by some animals outside, and it made me touch the screen wrong, and boom, it's gone. And then I was doing a video just a moment ago, and I touched it wrong, and boom, it's gone. All that I had just uploaded. But what I was trying to convey, and I'm not sure what I had conveyed already in videos or not, is that um, um, so what I was saying is that I was getting into a discussion of animals, and I had that's actually what my premise was today, and I made the other videos more so leading up to it. And what I was saying is that I think that a lot of times so I had a friend that was Native American where I live now, and many of my in that former video I was saying that in my mind I didn't mean to make this a political discussion, but I don't I appreciate a similarity in heritage between people who are considered Latin American or Native American from the North Americas, in just in terms of history and all that, both a history of the indigenous people upon the Americas, but then also the intermingling with European and African ancestry at all points of that, or at least in modern points of that. There's a similarity between what could be considered Latin American and Native American from the North Americas. But my friends in childhood, where I grew up in the Southwest, were Native American as being either um, uh, uh, have both lines of descent from tribes indigenous to the area where we were at in the Americas, or having Latin ancestry that would also have ancestry from the Americas, or being African American that would have ancestry with intermingled with the people with the Americas, indigenous to the Americas, and then African Americans also being indigenous to the Americas, according to the standpoint of being FBA, foundational Black American. So my friends were Native American in that sense from those backgrounds in the Southwest, but then in the North where I'm at now, I had another great friend when I was working as a as a delivery driver. And one way that I know that he was a great friend of mine is because one time he had asked, so we were at one side of town, way on another side of town, and he asked me to give him a ride to a mall, way on the other side of town, and I gave him a ride there, and it was about like maybe like a 20-minute, 30-minute drive, and I dropped him off there, and he had something going on where he was like he had to call his he had to call his girlfriend. He was meeting his girlfriend at the mall there, and when he met his girlfriend there, he had to call her, and so he made a phone call to her from my phone on that call, and then I dropped him off, and then like I took off in the car, and then his girlfriend his phone was still ringing, the answering machine to his so his his girlfriend's phone was still, so my phone was still communicating with his girlfriend's phone after I dropped him off, and none of us knew that. And then so as soon as I dropped him off, his girlfriend went to mocking me in my appearance. Like she was ridiculing my appearance, and he was like, "Man, why do you always got to say that? He's my friend." He's always been like that, and he's cool as hell too, man. He's a real mother. He was like, he was giving me respect, man. He's like, she was saying that I look different, and he's like, so what, man? He's always been like that. He's a real motherfucker. What do you always got to give my friends a problem like that? And then so his phone recorded that whole thing, and then so I didn't know that, and then later I have like this long voicemail on my phone. I was like, who left me a message? And then, so no, so maybe no, so he called his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend missed the call and called me back, and then my phone, but then when she called me back, it went to my answering machine, but she never turned off her phone by mistake. So when that's what happened, and then so they had that back and forth at this mall, where he was taking up for me in my absence to his very girlfriend, and he had been proud of his girlfriend too, because like before that, he was like, before I had ever met her, he's like he had a hickey, man. He's like, man, I got lucky, man. He was like we were saying something. He's like, yeah, but I got lucky last night, man. I'm getting lucky these days, man. And he wasn't trying to brag about it, but he was just like, damn, I'm getting lucky, man. I got lucky, man. Like that shit happened, man. I really got lucky. You know, it's kind of he's just that real like that, where he wasn't trying to flex, And he wasn't trying to not flex. He was just real. Like whatever occurred to his mind is what he said and what he felt in a particular moment. And one of the most badass things he told me is that he had a his mother. I would give him rides home a lot, and his mother was suffering with alcohol at that time, and he was living with her. And he was like, he just couldn't understand, even though he did smoke. And one time, him and I got into a conflict because I was giving him a ride home, and he asked me to drop late at night after our shift, and he asked me to swing by the store to get him a pack of smokes. And I said no to him because at that time I was very principled back then, and I wasn't trying to be I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to be a jerk to him, but I thought that if he's my friend, then I don't want to help him buy something that I don't think is good for him. But now that I'm a man now, I would have swung by there and got that for him because like whatever you enjoy, we gotta pick our poison in life. And I'm no one I'm no one to throw shots or judge no one or even be I'm no one to control what anyone does or like enjoys. That would have been my standpoint now. But back then I didn't drop him off there because I didn't think that there was any good reason to buy cigarettes then. And if he's my friend, then I'm not gonna help him harm himself. But that's a different consideration. But at that time, he couldn't understand alcohol because he's like, man, I don't understand why she does that because she's just gonna get sick. She's just gonna be sick all day tomorrow and sleeping all day tomorrow. And it's not even worth it, man. It's not what it's like just to get drunk, just to get a stupid buzz and then be sick the whole day like that. It's not worth it, man. And at that time, I was driving a lot then, so I didn't drink at that time. But since then, I had different times where I drunk more and I was like something of a connoisseur, especially like of wine. But now I by and large don't drink, and it's largely because of comments like what he said, and that's how dope he said that. But one thing that he said was like another thing he said was like he was talking about animals, like, and he was like, "Do you think animals go to heaven? But why wouldn't they go to heaven? Animals are nicer than people. Why wouldn't they go to heaven?" And I wasn't arguing with him, but it was just he was like he felt a way about things. And then I was thinking later that that's actually really deep because I think that animals sustain us and are our guardians as much as we are theirs. That you see people walking and you think we're the grown-ups and we're having to say so and we're taking care of them. But by and large, animals are supporting us, I think, as much as we are them. So in another video, I was saying, so if I'm blessed to have a family and I have like some little ones and I bring them home McDonald's, I get to look like the big cool guy because I brought home McDonald's, and now I look like I'm supporting them and myself with that food that I got from McDonald's. But more so, maybe what did the supporting was the cow because the cow gave its body to let me look cool in front of the kids, to let me have food in front of the kids, to let the kids enjoy food, to let us have a good night. The cow did all that, and it gave up its very body to do that, and it didn't ask for anything in return. So who's the real adult? Who's the real protector? Who's the real provider? I would say it had been the cow in that standpoint. Or also you see people with dogs, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes I think about like why do dogs get so pissed off at other dogs sometimes, or even like sometimes I was walking past like a woman with like two small children and a dog today. I was coming at a perpendicular angle, just walking home, and so the dog was like on it was letting me know that it saw me in front of itself and its family. And so I was thinking that like so that life is that crucial because that family is that precious, that dog's life to itself is that precious, so that dog should feel a way about anything that could potentially jeopardize the health and well-being of their family. And as dogs hasn't been raised through K through 12 like us and had TV shows and all the stuff we had to make us think we're in a modern iteration of reality, to a different degree life is still similar to how it had been at different points for animals, not entirely the same but not entirely different than how it had been other times. But I was thinking what might make a dog on guard against both other dogs and also a person crossing paths is that not what you are to the dog itself and its family right now in that point, but actually sometimes we have dealings with another person before we meet them. What is it that I have going on in life broadly, consciously and unconsciously, directly and indirectly, that would put me in proximity to that dog at that point, at that position, at that angle? A dog might appreciate that as a deeper form of interaction, is that just that you would appear right here, right now, means that we have some form of connection and connectivity in dealing, we mean something and have some relationship to one another that is proved by us appearing to one another. And that actually might be what a dog is having a contention with another dog about. It's a little bit deeper than it would seem, but it's similar with people where if you can appreciate anything that you see, anything that happens to you or around you, there's a deeper relationship and meaning that would amount to that happening to you, for you, right there, between you two, right there, that's deeper than your actual contact. It is a contact before the appearance of contact. And I think sometimes animals might appreciate that.